All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. This is DM Galabond. And in just a few minutes, we'll be starting our History of D&D stream. I am just getting a few things ready here for my players to show up. I'm going to go and grab this. And to put it here. And to put it here. Content creators. Okay. Then I'm going to go to social, Reddit. Edit a post. History of D&D. Okay. Now we will go to buffer. Share it there. There. I'd like to share it there. No. Share it now. Okay. Okay. So, well, let's see. Do we have anybody in the chat room today? Not yet. All right. Well, viewers, today has been kind of a good day already. Got up, did a charity walk this morning with some friends from work, and ready to have a nice D&D session today at noon. I am going to put on a little bit of music, set myself away, and go grab something to drink before the session gets started. All right, so I will go back here. Say hello. Hi, AFK. Drink. Right back. Enjoy the music. Okay. 67, like that. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Can you all hear me?
Yep, can hear you now, Doc. Elsie, how you doing? Okay, we can hear your mic cutting in and out, but we can't hear your voice. Nope, still can't hear you speaking.
How about now?
Ah, there we go. There he is.
All right, good. That was weird.
Technology, gotta love it. So I think we should be having a new player today.
Yeah, I still can't hear you for some reason.
Well, can you hear me now?
Scratch that. I can hear you now.
Yep. I have a fairly quiet environment. It's not 100% quiet, so sometimes my mic will pick up background noise even when I'm not talking.
I got a mixer and I forgot to turn my mixer off. So it's all my problem.
Hmm. So how was your week, gentlemen?
Mine was pretty good. I was relaxing, and I was one of those weeks you can't wait for the next day.
LC, is school back in session for you?
Oh, it's been in session for a while now.
Oh, okay, because I think last week you said they were on a fall break or something like that.
Oh yeah, just 3 day. Yeah, I've been back at school getting at it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ping. Let's see. Where is he? Okay. And then all right. Just want to see if we need to wait for these guys. Well, okay. Well, while we wait to see if we have a response from them, we'll go ahead and recap last week. Last week, Siren finally met up with John and Devlin. They discussed the uh, adventure that they had each been offered by some of the townsfolk and that they had accepted. They strategized a little bit about that. They went and got Devlin's sword back from the shady trader with a bit of fast talking of his own to make a better deal than the trader was expecting. They found, speaking of shady characters, they found a couple of people staying at the Inn of the Welcome Wench who seemed like they might not be up to any good. And the following morning, our three intrepid heroes set off with Zert the Tracker and Elmo the village council member, and they rode a few hours into the woods toward the toward this old Moathouse out in a swampy area near town. When they approached, they heard from Zert that based on the normal daily activity, it seems like usually the bandits send out patrols early in the morning. So the option was, shall we stay and scout wait for the patrol to return, or shall we try to head inside and see what we can find? And the decision was, let's wait alongside out near the woods. Okay. And all right, that's okay. Sorry to hear that. Hope all is better soon. Hope to see you back next week. Okay, Julian just said that a family emergency has popped up, so he will not be able to join us today. So I will just take John and move him to the GM layer, so we won't be confused about whether he's here or not. And we certainly hope that everything gets resolved in a timely manner and that everyone is okay and that he's able to join us again next week. So hope that all goes well, Julian. So you guys were sitting there waiting to see if a patrol was coming back. And, well, haven't heard anything back from our new player, John, yet today. So I'm just going to presume we won't see him yet. He did make up a character during the week. So maybe something happened, or he did seem to have some trouble with deciphering time zones the other night. So we might see him pop up a little bit later in the session. But we'll have to.
I think he's not native to the United States, so he has a trouble maybe even understanding just some English. So it might be that.
He didn't sound foreign to me when we were talking while he was making up his character, but he is in the Dallas area. And it seemed like he was not, was having a little trouble when I was trying to explain to him the concept between Eastern time and Central time. So he might think noon Eastern is his time, which it's not, but we'll sort of get him figured out. I do know that he has a young child and a wife, so it's always possible that if the kid comes down with something, obviously everything else goes out the window, and you worry about the kid, and everything else takes a back seat. So hopefully that's not the case, but he may show up a little bit later. So for now, you guys have been sitting there for maybe a half hour. You all are sitting there waiting. While you're waiting, is there anything you want to mention or ask of either Zert or Elmo during that time?
So we waited about a half an hour, and I know we're waiting on the guards to make their rounds. Have we kind of ascertained that they will probably be arriving?
It Well, you've been waiting so far, and you know that the caravan that had pulled into town was scheduled to be on the road this morning, but that the village elder succeeded in having them delay by a day before they took off to go. So they're waiting in Dedale an extra day. So depending on what this patrol was doing, it's possible these people were out trying to set an ambush for the caravan, or it's possible that these guys were just part of the normal patrol. So you don't really know. Zert says that he would expect if it's the normal patrol, they would probably be back in another 15 minutes to half an hour, based on what he's observed them doing during the week.
I asked Zert if he's had any observations that could tell us how many people is probably in the
He wouldn't know how many they would deploy to attack a caravan because he hasn't seen them do that firsthand. But their patrols, he knows, are usually anywhere between like 3 and 6 people would be out on a patrol. So he would expect a kind of a small group, similar to the size of your own group, maybe 1 or 2 more or less.
So he doesn't really have an idea of how many, if any, might be actually in the town.
Correct. Correct. The estimates that people have had, which are pretty bad estimates, are anywhere between like a dozen and 30. He doesn't seem to think that there's quite that many that would be in there, and he believes that it would be smaller. But of course, if you can pick off a few outside, then that means that there's less inside. And if there's a patrol like normal and they've also sent people out to try to set an ambush, then that means that the number of people inside might be rather small. But if you deal with a patrol, you can kind of find out perhaps what's going on with the rest of them.
As long as we can do it quietly and not alert them.
True.
Alert them to our presence. Yeah. So what road? Is there a road anywhere that the patrol will probably be taking? Is that the road that's beside?
Yeah, he says they usually will head out to the east and go around, and then they usually come up from the south, heading back into the patrol. So he would expect them probably to use this main walkway right here as they would go in. So use that walkway there.
Can you ping that? I didn't see it for some.
Okay, I went over here. I'll go ahead and do it so that it recenters on that area.
So are these good cover, bushes and stuff, or is this a tough of a hill?
No, those are little ponds of water. You guys are not really shown on the map here. You guys are kind of in the edge of some woods and some tall grass by the by the edge of the stream. So you have some cover that way. But those areas over here that you were indicating, that is a large pool of water, and that's a slightly smaller pool of water. Sort of brackish little pond. There's a shrub there and another shrub there.
I gotta zoom in here.
LC, any questions from Siren?
No questions so far.
Okay.
So, Siren, I have a suggestion as far as maybe a bit of a surprise for them when they. We don't know if they're necessarily evil or what, but just for preparation, perhaps if one of us was to be over behind these bushes over there, and then as the wagon came up over here, the other one of us would come up this way and have their attention over here. And if it came down to a fight, the person we would have them, we'd be on both sides of them that way.
Yep, sounds like a fine plan to me. The only worry would be if they catch him while he's hiding, then he'd be surrounded and alone, and it would be difficult for us to catch up to him. So I think it's a good plan. We just have to make sure he's very good at being quiet.
And Zert says, well, if we did have someone over there as a distraction, then we could, we could attack them from this angle while their focus is over there towards those bushes. So that might work. And so he looks and he says,
Well, my thought is for the people behind the bushes to be right on top of them if they tried to attack us. And so the person that's over here where we are now would get their attention and talk to them at a distance, and then be able to use range attacks if anybody needed to do that. And then anybody that's better with close hand attacks would be behind the bushes to surprise them.
okay.
That's just my thought. I mean, I'm proficient with stealth.
All right. So would you see yourself as someone that would maybe try to ambush them from behind, or?
That's how I would do it. Now my character himself is not a frontline fighter, really, but if it came down to a fight, that's probably where he would have the most advantage. I don't know. I mean, he's stealthy, but he's more ranged just because he's got a whopping four hit points altogether. So he's not a fighter.
Okay. Well,
But I'm open to any suggestions, and that's just my input. So yeah, feel free to come up with some plans if you.
okay. Zert is, Zert's kind of a close combat type of guy, and Elmo is a close combat kind of guy. And Zert says, Zert says, well, if they're in league with Bargle, they can't be up to any good. And Elmo says, I agree. I think if one of these adventurers wants to play the role of something of a distraction and attract their attention, we could perhaps lay an ambush from behind them if they choose to turn violent. And Zert agrees with that. Do either of you have a disagreement?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then,
Sharon, do you prefer the long range distraction, or do you prefer to hide behind those bushes? And I'll do either one, whichever one.
it looks like they're going to start over unless you stop them. Unless you guys stop them.
No, I'd say both of them will go over there. It just would be me or Siren over here, and the other one by the.
Okay. Zert gets to about here. And then suddenly something happens. And the something that happens is 4 giant frogs emerge out of this murky water. And they will go to make attacks on the approaching humans. And we get to have our first combat in original D&D. Now, the combat system in original D&D does have initiative, like later editions that you're probably used to. However, instead of rolling a d20 for initiative, they thought it was a good idea in the old days to roll a d6 for initiative. So, if you wish, you can go ahead and roll initiative, and I may have just accidentally bumped you off of the grid. Okay, Siren, what's your actual dexterity score?
14, I think.
Okay, 414. Devlin, if you click your character, and then if you go to the character sheet and click the initiative, it should roll the initiative for you, and it should also automatically add it to the turn counter in Roll20. So,
Yeah, I'm looking for the initiative button or anywhere it says initiative.
It's in combat.
I think it's on the combat tab, yeah. Okay, excellent. It did add your wait a minute.
That's a lot of frogs.
Yeah, too many frogs. Not sure why it added so many. Should only add. Oh, I know why, because I thought I had selected something else. Okay, Devlin, what's your actual dexterity score?
16.
16. Okay. I don't know if any of you have done this in later editions or not, but I always play initiative where we put your initiative score after a decimal, and that way it helps to reduce ties. And especially when you have such a flat initiative like this edition where everything is a D6, then it really helps to reduce the uh, number of ties that
Yeah, that's 6.16. I'm not sure why it gave me that. I rolled a 4.
because you have a +2 to your initiative. So it adds the 2, so it makes the 4 into a 6. And
You add your
then
dexterity bonus to your initiative score.
yeah, then I added the 0.16 just so that when we sort it, in case there's any other 6s, it falls into the right order.
All right.
Okay. So let's go here. Let's go here. And then one more. We'll go here. Okay. So. Okay. There. Okay. So. All right. All right. So armor class. All right. These guys. Excellent. Excellent. Then this guy gets a turn. And this guy gets a turn. All right. So now D6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so the frogs have a dexterity. Okay. 12. So that's 2.12, 1.12, 1.12, and 2.12. And Zert has a dexterity of 15. So he should have. Oh, he should get a 16 then. 6.15. And then Elmo has a dexterity of. Okay. So he should get a. Okay. All right. So now we'll put everybody in descending order. And Devlin, you get to be the first person to act. You see your ally Zert heading over towards that pond. And you see as he approaches and as Elmo approaches, these frogs come out. They look menacing, and you can tell it looks like they're getting ready to lash out with their tongues. try to attack these guys. So what would you like to do?
Well, does he get any form of surprise or attack or backstab or something like that? Being he's got initiative and I don't know.
Well, you're not surprised, and clearly they're not surprised either because they were coming out. So there's not any real surprise or anything there. Let's see, your movement is probably 30 feet. And so that means that you can move about 6 squares close to them. And then if you have a ranged weapon, you can probably take a range attack. But otherwise, you won't be able to get close enough to do any kind of melee attack this round.
You said 6 squares?
Yeah.
So I will do a crossbow attack.
Okay. And which one are you going to target? Okay, that guy there.
So I guess to hit, I go ahead and just roll and die 20, right? There's no.
Yeah.
I know in the other ones you could just click on.
So on your character sheet, if you have your weapon listed, so let's go in and look at Devlin. So we go on your character sheet, we go under combat. Let's see. Okay, you have your light crossbow there. If you go all the way over to the extreme right, there's a little attack button. If you click on that die, that should roll the attack roll for your crossbow. Okay, so you hit armor class 0, and these have an armor class that's significantly less than 0. So you deal 4 damage to this guy. And he croaks. Did
he blow up? Did he blow up and kill all of his friends?
No, he did not. He does not appear to be lethally injured. But he is. Hurt. He's not yet bloodied, which means he's down to half his hit points. So he's not yet down to half his hit points. So you've moved, you've shot. This edition, there's not a whole lot else to your turn. So next up is Zert. And Zert will see, what does he want to do? He wants to combat. Oh, he wants to use his sword. So he's going to move up and focus fire. He's going to attack. Actually, he'll move there. And he'll attack that same one with his sword. And so he hits armor class 16, which means he rolled really bad. Okay. So he hits armor class 16, which is a whiff. because their armor class is better than 16. And next up, Siren.
All right. Is dashing a thing in this edition?
Dashing. I'd say that you could take twice your movement and in lieu of an attack. I don't know what you have in terms of your either ranged weapons or any spell that you may have available to you.
I do
But-
have magic, but I only get one a day so far, so I might want to hold on to that.
Okay, all right.
So I'll just move up to here.
Okay. And oh, okay, wonderful. Then we are to Elmo. Okay, let's see. What does Elmo have? Elmo. Okay, he's got a battle axe. So he is also going to move. Oh, I'm sorry. Siren, I told you wrong. Under the combat tab, if you forego an attack, you can use your running speed. So you can run 90 feet. Or if your normal encounter movement is 30, then you could run 90 because it's triple your regular speed.
Oh,
So
nice. That's
yeah.
helpful.
Okay. Sorry about that. Having to get back into memorizing this stuff from the old editions as well. All
That's
right,
fine.
so let's see how far. Oh man. Well, he can go there with his movement of 30. Elmo can. And he is going to try to swing his battle axe at the same frog that was hit earlier. So, hits an AC 5, which will hit for 9 points of damage. Okay. Minus 9. All right. So that cleaves this frog's head open. It dies. And for the moment, I'm going to put it on the GM layer because then that graves it out in a turn order and I know that it's dead when we get to it. So, next we have this frog right here. And he is going to attack Elmo because Elmo looks delicious. All right, so he is going to lash out with his tongue. And this is right. This is where we have to look at the attack for a giant frog. All right, we'll go. He's going to roll a d20. He rolls a 12. And for a giant frog attacking, a 12 will hit. We go to the combat rules for monsters. He is a 2-hit dice monster. And that means that by order of combat. Wait. Where the hell is the creatures? Come on. monsters. It's not there. It's under combat. Okay. Combat table. All monsters. 4. Up to 2 hit dice. A 12 will hit an armor class 6. Well, Elmo has an armor class that's better than 6, so they miss him. All right. And that guy's dead. This guy will also attempt to hit Elmo. And that's a 14. So that's an armor class that should be an armor class of 4, which it is, but Elmo has a better armor class than 4. So, once again, he is missed. Then we have this frog who has to, well, he has to move, but instead of moving, he's going to take an ability that he has to do a leap of up to 30 feet. And he just leaps in the air right over here, and he's going to attack Zert. And 6. Yeah, that's going to miss Zert by a mile. So, everybody is missed in the party. And Devlin, we are up to you. So, let me just double check your. Okay, you, under your movement, you are able to move up to 40 feet. So I'm sorry, that's up to 8 squares. So go ahead and move yourself 2 squares closer, and then you can start your turn.
He's good where he is.
Okay.
Where do you see where do you see his movement at on?
On combat, under the combat tab.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I just don't see it.
It's the top line, movement. You see it starts with hit points, then wrestling, then movement, then initiative, then Thaco. The black there. You see that right at the top?
I see hit points, wrestling. Okay, movement is right there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Normal, encounter, and running.
Yeah. So encounter is his 40, and then if you use a full action to run, you can run the 120, which is triple. So all right. The frog you were shooting at before is dead. You have several other targets.
What about that guy there?
Okay. It's an armor class of 3. Okay, that's better than its armor class. So you hit it. And you deal 2 damage. Okay, so he's hurt. He's not bloodied yet, but you definitely hurt him.
Probably for dinner.
Okay, anything else you want to do at the moment?
No.
Okay. Then Zert will turn and he will attack the same frog that you just hit. And once again, he's going to try to use his sword. So he hits AC 14, which is a swing and a miss. And he deals no damage. And he kind of grumble. Apparently, he's very good at tracking things, but he sucks at hitting things. Siren, you're
Where
up
is there, anyways? I can't see him on the map.
right here. Oh, you can't. Okay, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he's shows him under Elmo, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's right below him, south of him.
I can't see him, but I guess that's okay.
Oh, you don't see that character where I'm pinging? It looks like a blank space to you.
Yep, it just looks like the map.
Oh, weird. Okay, but Doc, you see him?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, let me just double check that. Well, okay. Weird. Okay.
Oh, now I see him.
Okay, that's strange. I changed the setting that on his token, I changed the setting that all players see light and has sight. Doesn't seem like that would have anything to do with other people being able to see him outside, but apparently it does.
No, that's strange.
Yes. Thank you, Roll20, for more bizarre goodness.
Anyways, I want to see if I can chop this frog in half.
Okay, excellent. Two-handed sword. Oh, AC 8. Oh, your blade, you don't quite get a great thing, and you just sort of bounce off of his thick, rubbery hide.
Darn it.
Don't quite get him. Are you going to stay there, or did you want to move at all?
Are opportunity attacks a thing in this?
Let me just double check. Are opportunity attacks a thing in this edition? I'll go to the rules. Oh. Okay, so. Okay, come on. Where are you? Okay, opportunity attack. No results. Attack of opportunity. No results. Okay, so I'm going to say for right now, no. Opportunity attacks are not a thing in first edition.
I guess I'll just back up out of his range then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. They do have that crazy leap that they can do.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
yeah. But at least if you're not the closest thing, he may not decide that you're the first meal he tries to have.
One can hope.
All right. Elmo says, all right, let me see what I can do about this frog. And he's going to take his battle axe, swing it mightily. Oh, it's an armor class -7 for 9 points of damage. He got all of that one. Okay, so -9. And once again, he just splatters this frog's skull, or shatters the frog's skull with his blade, cleaves right through it. We will give him that and put him on that layer so he's not cluttering the battlefield. All right, next up, this guy. Elmo's still the closest target, so he's still going to try to hit Elmo. And that's a 5. I'm not even going to bother looking that up. That's a miss. And And then the next guy also attacks Elmo. Ooh, 16. Let me. So let's do all monster. Okay. Yes. All monsters. Okay, up to 2. A 16 will hit an armor class 2. Well, that's pretty good. But Elmo has an even better armor class than that. So, Devlin, it's back to you.
I'll continue firing, and I'll be aiming at this frog there.
Okay. Oh, armor class 12. Okay. For the first time in combat, Devlin misses. Uh-oh. That's not good. Devlin's been hitting everything. You just want to stay put, or do you want to move?
I think. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna see. Can I move over here?
Yeah. Is that 8 squares from where you were?
I got 6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Okay, yeah, and we're going by the squares of the grid because the dark squares are 10 by 10. The grid squares that your figure fits in, those are 5 by 5. So, yeah. So if you were over here, then let's see. Over here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So that would put you here because you already shot. So this would be about the furthest that you could move is right here.
Yeah, this is fine.
No, this right here is about the furthest you could move. So you went a little too far.
No, I'll just stay where I was.
Oh, okay, all right.
I was anticipating that wagon coming along and me being behind the bushes, but if I don't have good cover back there, I'll stay.
Okay. All right. Then Zert. Okay, there's not an enemy right there, so he's going to diagonally move up here, 5, 10, and he's going to take a whack at this guy with his sword, and we'll see if he can hit the broadside of a barn. Armor class 11. No. Zert, you're killing me, man. You're not hitting anything. Siren, you're up.
All right, let's see if this time it goes any better. I'm going to try to skewer this frog instead.
Okay.
Oh, good.
15.
It's worse.
Yeah, that unfortunately is not going to do it. Now let's see what Elmo can do. See if he can continue hitting, or if the dice go cold for him too.
Nope, Elmo's still a beast.
Hey, armor class 7. All right. I'm going to carry on a tradition that I do in my 5th edition games. Armor class 7 is exactly what you need to hit these guys. So if you hit an armor class 7, that hits it on the nose. And he does 9 points of damage. And that bloodies the creature. So, bloody really is a mechanic that didn't have much of a meaning before. I think it was 3 or 3.5, and they've done away with it in 5th edition as well. But it just simply means that you're at half your hit points. And in a couple of editions, there are either classes or creature types that gain a special ability once they are bloodied. In 1st edition and 5th edition and most of the other editions, you don't. But I like using it as a mechanic just to let you know how hurt an enemy is. So you can kind of gauge that in a fight, because it seems like you would be able to tell, once somebody starts to get pretty hurt, you'd be able to notice it. Then this frog, he's gonna try to attack Elmo, and 9, that's not gonna cut it. 9 would only hit an armor class 9, and so that's not sufficient. And then this frog is also this frog is going to try to hit Zert. Oh, 17. That might hit Zert. Let's see, what's Zert's armor class? Zert has an armor class of 4. And a 17 for this monster will hit an armor class of 1. So yes, that does hit. Okay, so these guys, they've finally done something. And he deals a die 4 of damage with his bite. And that's 4 points of damage. So Zert takes some damage. And Devlin, we're back to you.
Okay, see. Yeah, I'm gonna do my crossbow.
Okay.
I did a whopping 1 point of damage. I think I really messed up his.
Okay, we didn't see it roll. So
Sure, it shows it on the thing.
okay, Elsie, do you see it on yours? Because I don't see it on the chat.
That's no, I don't see his thing. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to re-roll it. It's not a problem. It looks like
Yeah.
I probably hit, but yeah, the damage is sucking. It rolled me a.
So you're in the character sheet and you're clicking.
Yeah. It says attack and it doesn't have a number. But it says it hit armor class 1. So yeah, that's
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's weird because it's not showing us. Let me just refresh my screen and see if my chat refreshes and it picks up what you had done. Nope. The last thing I have is the battle axe attack and then the frog attack and the damage for the frog. Weird. Okay, so it says you hit an armor class 1. that that is a hit. And how many points did you say it did?
Just 1 point of damage.
Okay, all right. So -1.
Yeah, but it's weird that it doesn't show the roll. It says attack, and then it's blank, and then it says hit
Yeah.
on class 1.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
what it.
accurate, 'cause I rolled a 16 for attack, so that would make.
Right, and that's the way this this particular character sheet is set up, because you have to do some, slide rule calculations to figure out what armor class you hit. It just does all that for you when you use the weapon attack, and lets you know what armor class you hit. So if you know what the armor class of your enemy is, it's easy to tell whether you hit or not. Okay, so Zert. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to move or just stay there?
No, I just stay there. I
Okay.
used to have that attack, the Thaco table memorized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see my Thaco's a 19, so that would mean to hit an armor class of 0, I would have to roll a 19. And
Right.
yeah, it just depends on if you're using the fighter table, cleric, thief, or magic user table.
Exactly. Okay, so Zert is going to attack with his sword, I believe. He's got the sword, yes. And he hits armor class 1 for 9 damage. Finally.
Maybe it could be mine messing up, because it's not showing me what his attack was on mine either for him.
Oh, so now you're looking at your chat in Roll20,
Yeah.
and it doesn't show you the sword attack for Zert?
It shows DM Gallibon, GM,
Yeah.
sword attack for Zert,
Okay,
NPC,
yeah.
and it's attack, and then it's blank, and it says hits armor class 1. Damage.
Right.
9.
But what LC and I were saying is that when you were rolling before, we didn't even see that. We don't see that panel in our chat stream. You
Yeah,
see
but
it
I think
you see it in your chat stream, but we don't see it in our chat stream. So that's what we're saying. You're seeing ours when we roll it, but we're not seeing yours. So something is kind of.
I was
up
thinking
there.
that it showed what they rolled, like your attack.
No. Yeah, not in this particular edition. It doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna move that to the GM layer. And Siren, you are up, sir. There's one enemy left.
Oh, good. Maybe I can actually hit him.
Okay, hopefully.
Spare the legs. We can
I'll
have
do
some frog legs.
wide swinging attack. Hopefully, I actually hit it. Nope.
Oh, AC 13. Okay, well. All right, then. Elmo turns around. He says, "Good shot, Zert." And he takes his battle axe. And he tries to hit. It's an armor class 2 for 12 points of damage. So -12. And yes, that kills it. Okay, the combat is over. All right, let me see. Did I ever hear anything back from John? Nope. Did not hear anything back from John. So maybe he's not going to be able to join us after all. All right. So the frogs there are starting to go belly up in the water, and you all hear a rustling out of the.
And I yell over to or I yell quietly to Siren to pitch one of the dead frogs out into the middle of the road and have them stop to get out and look at it, and then maybe we could surprise attack.
Okay. These guys are the frogs are pretty big. They're like 6 feet long, and they look like they maybe weigh 150 pounds or so. I mean, they're pretty beefy. So nobody's probably gonna be tossing them. But
Although I could drag one over.
yeah, you all hear down in this direction. Wait, where? Let me just see from the. Okay, come on. Oh, that's not showing. Hold on. I'll refresh the screen view on this machine. And now let me see if that. No, it doesn't. Okay. Weird. All right. You hear a scream or rustling from the south, from the woods, and there's the sound of feet running, and then coming out of the woods onto the road here, you see four people. Okay. And I shall describe them for you. These are humans, and all of these humans are okay. All of these humans are wearing black cloaks that have some kind of crest or device on the left breast of the cloak, but they're kind of fluttering in the wind and they're sort of folding a little bit, and you can't really make it out very well. And aside from the cloak and the symbol, they're all human, and that's where the similarity ends. There's old, young, short, tall, and they have a mixture of weapons and armor. There is one gentleman who appears to have a crossbow, another gentleman who has, and he's got leather armor. Another gentleman is also wearing leather armor and is carrying a pole arm. And the other two, one has leather and shield and is carrying a spear in one hand and a hand axe on his belt. And the other one is is wearing padded armor and a shield and is carrying a sword on his hip, has 2 javelins across his back, and has a third javelin in his hand. So they are all sort of running up, and they take a look at you all, and they say, "Hey, who are you? Why are you hunting in our pond?"
We were just gigging for frog legs.
And they turn to see you off to the other side of the
I kind of lower my crossbow at them to keep their distance.
Okay. And this is where we're going to have the first of another kind of check that's from this edition, which is a morale check. Now, in first edition, most monsters except for the mindless kind or beasts or whatever. Most monsters have a morale check, and depending on whether they pass or fail their morale check, depends on what happens at the next point of the encounter. So there's 4 of you. You have dispatched some pretty nasty looking frogs, which makes you at least somewhat dangerous. So they need to see how they react. Okay, well, 8. That's good enough. That exactly matches their morale. So they're kind of a hostile group. So they're going to sort of say, hey, you're in our territory. So they're going to sort of act like they have the high ground. All right. They say, put down your weapons. This belongs to us. You have no business being here. We're going to have to take you and let you talk to the commander. See what he wants to do with you.
I have a better suggestion. Being we outnumber you nearly 50 to 1, I was out here trying to get some frog meat for our troops for lunch here. How about you go and get your commander to come out here and talk to us?
Okay, are you using one of your skills that you have? Or are you going to just try to... I forget whether you took...
I have stealth, disguise, and blind shooting. So I don't think
Okay,
it's...
yeah, you didn't take deception as a skill. Okay, well, that's kind of a charisma, and you're talking to people who are a little bit, who they feel like they're on home turf. So I'm going to give you a -2 penalty, but go ahead and make a charisma check. So roll a d20, and the goal is you have to get your charisma score or lower by 2.
I failed.
Fail. All right. So they're like, 50 you, I don't think so. All right. Put your weapons down and come to us, or it's going to get nasty. And this one raises his crossbow. This guy here raises his crossbow. This guy over here, he kind of gets his pole arm ready. The guy with the javelin sort of steps up like he's gonna maybe throw it at somebody. And they look like they're ready to go into initiative.
So I
So
kind of look at Siren and Zert and Elmo to see if they look like they want to lower their weapons or start shooting at the guys that are coming out.
Elmo says, frog blood or bandit blood doesn't make much difference to me. My weapon's thirsty. And so he's clearly not interested in backing down. And Zert says, let's take one alive. We can kill the rest. And they're both, you guys can tell clearly they're trying to intimidate these guys. And we'll see if they have any... that's not going to work. That might work.
What about Serum? What does he look like he's doing?
I'm,
Yes, sir.
I'm in a ready battle position with my broadsword up. I'm
Okay.
I look a bit afraid, but also a bit excited at the same time. But I'm ready to go.
I whistle and go, all right, troops, be ready. They're coming at you. And I turn my head over to the side where I'm not really looking at them and try a blind shooting shot at the guy that's heading the closest to them. The guy that you said was trying to circle around behind.
Okay. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and let's get initiative going. So I will go ahead and add a turn. Go to Zert and see what his. Oh, I think I can. Let me try doing that. I think I can. I can. Good. Okay. So that's 315. And I'm going to get rid of Elmo because I can do the same for him. 315. Then for Elmo, I will do. Oh, shoot. I clicked Elmo's character, but I had. Okay, so that's 416. 315. All right. So Siren, you're at 5, and it was 14 for your dex. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And then let's see. Devlin. 4 and 16. Yeah. For whatever reason, Devlin, it's not automatically adding you to the. Oh, there it did. Okay.
Yeah, I had to close it out. It's because I had it on like a separate page. When I bring up the page without bringing it up as a
Okay.
separate page, it worked for what.
All right. Well, then I'm going to put everything in descending order. Oh, no. Can't do that yet because I haven't given these guys their chance
That
to
looks
roll.
appropriate to me.
Let's see what's. Um, all right. What happened to all of my other. That's really annoying. Okay, there you go, you dumb piece of fiddle faddle. Okay. Control F. Human. Oh, fudge. Okay. There. Now. Bandit. Okay. They get a +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they get 5, 6, 6, and 1. All right. Now let's put everybody in descending order. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Bandit 2. He of the spear and the hand axe, he's closest to Devlin. So he is going to throw a spear at Devlin and see if he can get a hit there. And he's one hit die creature. So his attack roll is going to be a 3. That's not going to hit anything. All right. So he now has to pull out his sword or his hand axe because he no longer has a spear. Bandit 5 has a pole arm, which gives him 10 feet of reach. So he's going to go up here, and he's going to try to hit the injured guy. An 18. And as a one-hit die creature, 18 will let him hit an armor class 1. That is enough to hit Zert. And I'm sorry, not a pole armor, it's a halberd. A halberd actually is one of the has one of the highest damage counts. It's a 1d10 weapon. So it does 3 points of damage. All right, and now after this hit, Zert is now bloodied. So Zert is down to half his hit points. Saren, what would you like to do?
I'm going to run up to this bandit here, try to defend Zert, who's looking pretty shady, and attack him. Not
Okay.
Zert, but the bandit.
Right, okay.
Well,
Hits an armor class 6. Okay, well, the bandit is exactly armor class 6. And you deal how much damage? 8 points of damage. This particular bandit has exactly 8 points of damage. So how would you like to kill him?
It's going to do a swift slice at the head and go for a decapitation.
Oh, okay. Well, his head falls off. He hits the ground, and in first edition D&D, when enemies with a morale score lose their first member of their group, they have to do another morale check. So let's see. And they get a penalty. So they now have to hit instead of an 8 or better, they have to hit a 10 or better. Oh, 6. No. So the rest of them, they see that. They see Siren do a one-shot kill. And they go, oh, okay. And they immediately start to put their weapons down and they put their hand, okay. Don't kill us, please. We'll talk. Don't kill us. And it looks like they have lost the will to fight. So that means Bandit 6, he drops his, what was it that he had? He drops his weapon, his sword, and then after that, Devlin, your enemies are giving up. What would you like to do?
I point my crossbow at the guy that was coming over at me with the and shot at me and missed.
Okay.
I say, well, gentlemen, that our original plan was to save one of you, so that because we only need one to go in and get your commander to come out and talk to us. Which one of you guys? We'll let you pick out which one lives. How's that?
And they're like, "Oh man, don't kill us! Don't kill us! We'll tell you what you want. We'll split our treasure with you. We'll give you some treasure from inside. Just don't hurt us."
What do you think, fellas? Siren, what do you want to do? We want to let one of them go in there and bring him out while we watch the other?
Well, I have a feeling if we send one in, it's going to alert the whole garrison, and we're going to get a lot more than just the commander. And I don't know, we're probably going to have a fight on our hands.
Well,
best we can
Zert
hope
was
for
thinking
is
that there would be fewer of them inside than what's out here. So, what do you say we strip them down to their skivvies and have them on their knees we'll confiscate all their weapons. We'll have our weapons at the ready to do a coup de grace if he does anything other than come out of there with a commander.
I mean, these are bandits. I doubt they care about their own that much. But it's up to you. I'm just not very trustworthy of bandits.
Well, if he comes out with more, as long as there's fewer of them inside than what there is out here, we got 3 easy kills. It's up to you. I mean, you want to just kill them all, or kill all but one, or what do you want?
And as you make those threats, Elmo says, I'm for putting them at their mercy. And he walks over and he says, you toss your weapons over here, remove your armor. We'll hold 2 of you here, send 1 of you inside. And Zert says, yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. And so he moves over here with his weapons at the ready. And
Devlin says, I got an idea, make things easier. And the 2 that he has on the ground on their knees without their armor, he pulls his blackjack out and whacks them over the head.
Oh, okay.
Just
All right.
figures he could knock them out,
Okay.
That way they don't make any quick moves.
All right. So these 2 guys are knocked out. We'll say this guy is your 3rd prisoner. So we'll go ahead and do that. And before we go inside and see what happens, I think this would be a good time for us to have a little break. It's 34 after the hour. Why don't we resume at 45 after? Quarter till the top of the hour. Grab a drink, grab a snack, anything that you need, and we'll pick back up there. I'm going to go ahead and put the jukebox on with the Roll20 music. So, and I'll be AFK.
All right.
All right. I am back. Everybody else back?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay. The first thing that happens is Elmo looks around and says, okay, we've dealt with those two. There's something else I need to tend to before we do anything else. And he walks over to Zert and he says, Zert, let me have a look at those wounds. And Zert does. And Elmo has actually the healing skill. And Zert has taken wounds from 2 different combat encounters. So Elmo can attempt healing twice on him. And each time he's successful, he can restore 1d3 hit points of damage. Except the only change I make from the rules is written that on a critical success, which is a 1, he restores 2d3 damage instead of 1d3. So let's see what happens. Okay. Healing. Must roll a 16 or less. So he can't heal anything from the frog bite, but he tries to then heal the damage from the halberd. Oh, and that will work. So, he gets.
I can give him one of my potions of healing. I got 2 of those. 1d6 plus 1d6 plus 1.
Well, let's see how Zert fares with this healing. It's we're gonna do 1d3. So 1 and 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 2, 5 and 6 is 3. Okay, so he gets 3 hit points back. And that means that he's no longer bloodied. So you go to pull out a healing potion, and Zert waves it away and says, "No, save it. I'll be all right." And he says, "Thank you, Elmo." And Elmo says, "No problem." And he looks at the rest of you. Says, "Either of you hurt?"
They didn't really go after me.
Yep. Okay, well, that's fortunate. So he then puts his healer's kit away. And he says, "All right. So we're gonna let's see what this guy can tell us before we go in." And he steps over and he roughly grabs the guy's cloak and he pulls it up and he shows it to Zert. And he says, "Zert, is this what you saw?" And Zert said, "Why, yes, it is." And now, if you look in your journals, you should see a handout called Bargle's Symbol. And I am, for the benefit of anyone watching the stream later, I'm going to put it up on the stream. So this is the device that is on the breast of their cloaks. It's their cloaks are black, and then it looks like an upside down purple pentagon, and inside that is inscribed a red sort of off-kilter box, and there are 8 black dots that have like little lines or strings or something running between them. And Zert looks at it and says, "Yes, that's Bargle's sign, all right. It's the one he started using not long after his family died. And the monstrous humanoids that we've been seeing around, they have it too." And then they show it to the two of you, and they said, "Have you all ever seen this before?"
I'm guessing I've never seen that before.
No, you haven't.
Somebody, they were talking about it earlier, but I think it was those two that were talking about it when we were in the tavern.
Right. But you hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. So I show it to the one of the guys we got in his skivvies there and ask him, what does this symbol mean?
He says,
I
It's
smack him
bar-
across the face and say, "No, make sure you tell me what it really means because I don't want to have to come back."
and he looks up, he says, "I don't know. Bargle gave it to us. He says, everyone in these parts will be serving under this banner before long. He's our master, Bargle. He tells us
He
what
tightens up the pull around his throat there and says, "Who did you say your master was? Who's your master now?"
and he says, he kind of is choking a little bit, but he says, we serve Bargle. He's the one that organizes everything."
All right, but for now on, you serve us. We go by the filthy.
The Filthy Four. Okay. All right.
I don't agree to this name.
What's that? What did you say? I didn't hear you.
In character, I'm not so fond of being called filthy, I must say.
Well, I couldn't think of another F that would go with five, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go with whether there was like 3 or 4 of us at the time. So I went with a
fighting.
number. Yeah, well, that's all hindsight's 2020, buddy. Come on now. I wanted to sound mean and nasty in our group. Nobody had bad would somebody would backstab a member of the Fantastic Five quicker than they would the Filthy Five.
All right. Well, he says, whatever you say, just I'll take you inside.
Were we going to let him go inside, or let the other fella go inside and bring out his?
Well, there's 2 of them that are unconscious because you whacked them with your
So they're unconscious.
So you only have
you
only have one guy alive and conscious. The other guy is dead. So
I was
either you send this guy.
We could send him inside to bring out the commander, or do you want to go inside with him?
Oh, I guess somehow I thought one of you was going to accompany him inside to make sure he didn't get up to any mischief. But if you want to send him inside, that's fine.
I'm open to suggestions. I'm not the combat specialist. I'm the mouth from the south.
I do want to say we know the bandits attack in groups of 8 to 10, and it's almost a guarantee there's more than that. So we're looking at probably 8 more inside, probably 10 more, something like that. So we send him in, and then we have to face 10 of them rushing out to kill us.
And the bandit says, he looks at you and he shakes his head. He says, "Not today." He said, "Caravans due on the road from Dedale today. Most of them will be waiting to ambush them. Maybe half dozen at most inside now."
Or you could just be lying to us to get us to send you in and then come and slaughter us all. Then I'll walk up to him and point my sword toward us. You better not be lying to us.
Well, I guess if I am, then one of us won't be living long enough to worry about it, will we?
I have a plan. I can go inside with him, and you guys stay behind. Somebody have your sword at the throat of these other guys, and I will go in with my crossbow. Make it look like my arms are tied behind my back, and I'll walk in front of this guy with my crossbow in my hands, pointed down at this dude's junk. And if he makes any sudden moves, I just pull the trigger on my crossbow, and we'll say goodbye to this guy. So it's your decision if you want to try to escape. All I got to do is pull the trigger.
And Zert says, "Well, you're wearing black. Why not just take one of the cloaks of these guys, put it on, and walk in with him?
That's a good idea.
Make it look like you're part of their group."
Or a new recruit or something.
How about we take I'll take the cloak and stuff from the guy we killed, and then we'll drag his body behind us, like we found him out um, snooping around out here, and we. Well, of course they may recognize him, but we'll drag his face through the mud a little bit.
Now here's the idea. I guess you and a bandit could go in. You have a knife at his back so he cooperate. You go in, tell them that there's like another group of bandits that wants to come and join, and they want to talk to the leader or something. Try to drag out the leader so we can ambush him when he comes out.
Yeah.
Elmo,
Maybe if we could get the leader separate from the rest of the group a little bit, we could grab him and have him tell the other guys to drop their weapons and then question the leader, at least before we kill him.
Elmo says, "I think getting the leader is a good idea." And he nods to Siren. He says, "I think you have the right inkling of a plan." And then he turns back to Devlin. He says, "I think Siren, Zert, and I should hide in the bushes. You go in with this one. Tell him that some new recruits or there's another bandit group needs to speak to the leader, has waylaid some of our men, holding them outside. Get the leader to come out. If he brings some bodyguards along with him, we'll deal with the bodyguards and then try to capture the leader alive and question him." And then he looks at the two of you. Any thoughts?
Sounds like a good plan to
Sounds
me.
like a plan to me. What could go wrong, right?
Okay, so you're going to go up and walk either
I
alongside.
try to look like I'm casual as I've got my crossbow casually. Like I got it in my hand on the trigger, and it's like just swung over my shoulder. But of course, it just happens to be pointing in the direction of the guy that I'm going in there with.
Okay. So they give you a cloak from one of the other guys, and you put it on, and you all start walking.
Or maybe you guys put the cloak of the two we have captured on, and that way, if they do see you, we'll I don't know. I'll come up with something. I'll pull something out of my.
Okay. Elmo
Just as a-
says to Zert and Siren, right. You wear those other cloaks. I'm going to hide over here, and if we need to ambush, I can get ready to ambush. So
All right.
he'll kind of hide over there. All right, so this guy goes in. Let me read you a bit of the description here. Okay, so there's a rotting drawbridge. When the Moathouse was taken, part of the drawbridge was battered through, and men crossed on planks to gain access to the inner gates. Chains of the drawbridge were broken, and it fell. It has remained thus since. And as you look at it, you feel like it's strong enough to bear a person's weight, but you're not sure you would bring a horse or a mule across it. And you, Devlin, can very carefully kind of watch where the bandit steps, and he seems to step on the boards that look like they're the most sturdy, and indeed everything is fine about them. And he gets
I
up here.
try to mark the boards that I see them stepping on. I don't know if I'll put a little bit of sand on them or something so I know which ones to step on our way back.
Okay. And now that you are coming in here, I'm going to go ahead and open up more of this area for view. Let's do this. Okay, so as you begin to walk in, you see the interior of this area that looks like it was at one time either like an open hall or something like that. The roof beams above are cracked, and lots of the roofing material has fallen into the floor. There's not a lot here in the way of not a lot here. It's just kind of junk and everything like that. You can see over here to the, and since I'm not sure, oops, I'm going to recenter this because on the stream we can't see this. Okay, so over here in this area, you can see all the rubble has fallen, and it looks like this wall has collapsed. It would be very tough to try to climb over that wall and get outside, but it's more or less a mound of rubble. You can tell that there are arrow slits here, here, and here, and again here, 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 and down here. And those are all darkened. You don't see any light beyond them. And in fact, you see like cobwebs and stuff on some of them. So it doesn't look like they're maintained at this point. The ground in this area, or I should say, the gates that you come into are broken. One of the two large double doors is hanging open, and on one great hinge, the other hinge having been broken, the other one is splintered and holed, but still in position, wedged and shored closed from the inside. And you can notice that there are boot prints kind of in this area here. The interior,
Where are the boot prints at?
the boot prints are right around the doorway.
All
So
right.
just, and then as you notice, they're kind of meandering all around this area. It looks like people crisscross over here and they wander around. You can actually see even a couple places where it looks like in the past people have had campfires in this area. The floor is more or less it's flagstones. Some of the flagstones have been actually dug up and there's dirt underneath them, but for the most part, it's just flagstones on the floor. And then as you go over towards this area here, I'm going to reveal a little bit more. You see a large set of stone stairs. And those stone stairs lead up, maybe like 5 feet or so. The doors at the head of the stairs are broken. One is laying flat on the floor, and the other appears to be sundered in half. So these guys, these bandits, if this is the hideout they have, they don't appear to be terribly wealthy or successful, but they do have something that, at least in name, they are calling a stronghold. So the bandit says, it's up the stairs and in the back. And so he starts walking over this way, unless you want to try to stop him.
I kind of stop him and direct him
Okay.
up to the top end up here.
I'm sorry, where can you ping again? Oh, okay. All right. So he comes up here.
And as I walk along, I'm quickly going by the arrow slit.
Okay. Then let's see. The one that you're next to right now, let's say, or the one like.
Well,
Are you gonna look at all three of them?
Well, yeah, I could bend down and look at them as I'm walking by, but I'm not gonna linger in front of them. I don't care if the bandit does or not.
Okay. You look in there and you see, well, you can see what looks like there's uh, there's some rubble inside. It looks like moldering bits of old furniture that you can see through the one that's on the left. The one that is, so that would be this one. The one that's in the middle here, looking through that one, you don't see much of anything, except maybe there's a shadow of something over there that looks like it might be an old armoire, but it smells very musty in there. And then looking at the one that the bandit is next to now, you see just on the other side of an arrow slit, you see a head of a deer. This deer head has been severed, and it's been mounted on what looks like now kind of a rotted oak board, and the fur is kind of mangy and worn with age. Looks like that was probably like a trophy or something that somebody at one time had hanging on a wall, but it's either fallen down or was torn down, and it's just laying there on the other side of the arrow slit.
So does it look like are there torches in here?
Nope. Yeah, this is just basically what you can see through from the natural light that's filtering through the cracked and broken ceiling throughout here, and kind of as you quickly peer through the arrow slits. Basically, the impression you're getting is that at least these three areas beyond these arrow slits are probably not used at the moment.
All right. I'm going to have to take give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right back. I got to run a little boy.
Okay. So, Siren, anything you want to do while we're waiting?
I'm just waiting.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna ask if we could use the new icon for my character.
Oh. Let me see. Did you send that to me in the Discord?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me go and look at this. Oh, yeah. Okay. 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 No. Okay. Then let me. Yeah, we can do that. I will go here. I will upload. Okay. Then let me pull this out here. Okay, now if I go to Siren and edit, you select a token. Okay. And then, I have to. This represents Siren. Do 5, 5, 2.
All right, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Save changes. All right, now if I edit and remove that, then I go to the artwork page and I drop the file in there. There we go. Save the changes. All right. Okay, Elsie, see if you can move the new one. Okay, great. Good. Perfect.
All right.
All right. So,
I'm gonna direct this guy to. We'll go over here, and I just want to take a quick gander at this little arrow slit right there. Look, see if I see anything through it.
all right. When you get over there and look, you again see, you again see like the remains of a large shattered table that have kind of been pushed up to the other side of the arrow slit, so you can't really see much through it, except it's kind of an old thing. And as you approach, you hear a very slight squeaking and rustling, like the sound of sort of normal sized rats, maybe beyond that arrow slit, that are scurrying away because they somehow sense something approaching. So they.
Is this an arrow slit here?
Sorry, I need to go back and look. Ping again. Which one? Yes, it is.
So what if I just kind of lean forward and look through there?
Looks like that's part of the same room. You see, kind of off with the light coming through from above, you see kind of a large broken, either like a large broken dinner table, or maybe some sort of a meeting table that's kind of pushed up against this wall over here. But it's all shadowy. And again, you hear the squeak and rustle of little tiny feet, like rats.
So I asked this gentleman I'm with, what's his boss's?
Huh?
The guy that I'm with there. I asked him
Yeah.
what his boss's name.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're at the tail end of what you say is sometimes cut off. When you.
Yeah, I was just asking the guy that I'm with, the bandit, what his boss's name is.
Okay. Then let me pull that up. I can give you that information very quickly. Okay, his name is... Okay. His name, at least as he gives it to his people, is Sadon. And I'm going to put that in the Discord in the text. The name of the bandit leader. Okay. He gives them his name, or the guy with you tells you his name is Sadon.
So I'll tell him to just wait here for a moment. I yell, hello, Sadon, are you in there? Hey, we need some assistance out here.
And you do hear some noise. You hear, oops. And I'm going to, and you hear some footsteps that sound like they are approaching. You hear a door open, and you hear a voice call out, "Who's there? Who wants to talk to Sadon?"
I asked this guy what his name.
Okay, the fellow with you. His name. He tells you that his name is Balder. He pronounces it Balder, and I'm going to put it in the is one of the bandits that the group captured. Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's Balder and Balder and his group. We're out here. We have some people that were wanting to join and thought you would want to talk.
Oh, new recruits. Well, in that case, I guess we'll come say hello to him.
Hey, if you got any good grub in there, I could do with a pot of stew.
Oh, well, just the usual. And when you hear that, you kind of look over at Balder, and he sort of wrinkles his nose, like the usual is not usually very good. And so out from the shadows, there step three people. One of them, clearly here, is the leader. And there's two other bandits, if you will, that are with them. Oh, let me fix something on these tokens real quick. There's a setting, and you have to set it, unfortunately, token by token. In at least that's the only way I've found you can do it in Roll20. And that is to tell each token that players can see its name. Now, I guess the way around that is if you put a token on the board and then make all of its settings one way, and you copy it theoretically should retain all those settings every time you copy it. But it's annoying when they aren't there and you have to do each one individually. All right, so this would appear to be your bandit leader, Sadon. These two other guys appear to be bodyguards. They all wear the black cloaks and have the symbols. And he says, "Hey, Boulder, who's this? Don't recognize him."
Before
And
Balder said anything, I'm like, my dear fellow, I'm Clayton Winfield of the Nebraska Winfields. I'm into lots of business around and a lot of business dealings. I thought you might be interested, and we've got into a bit of a truffle with some other gentlemen in town, and had to take them out. And unfortunately, Balder and his friends were there, and I'm slowly walking over while I'm talking to him.
okay.
Wrong token. And unfortunately, Balder here was kind enough to help us out there while we were dealing with them. So we've got them, and I don't know, perhaps you would want to look at them as well. But yeah, we were outside. We were just getting ready to have some stew of our own making. I didn't have time to have it. Matter of fact, I spilled mine all over my shoes out there. It was quite a mess. And I was wondering if you would, maybe we could help repay you for your Balder's kindness here. I'm assuming he works for you. And I kind of whisper, I kind of put my arm around his shoulder there to see if his bandit buddies there are really protective, to see how close I can get, and if they don't stop me, I go on.
Well, you are sensing as you approach, you're sensing that Balder's kind of he's kind of tensing a little bit in the not sort of partly out of fear, partly out of just anticipation of what might happen. The bandit leader is sitting there looking back and forth from him to you, kind of a scowl on his face. I would like you to make a charisma check for this whole load of hooey that you're trying to feed this guy. See how well you pull this off.
You think all that was hooey? That's all true, man. What are you talking about?
Well, at least in terms of oh my goodness. He's the bandit leader. He seems kind of convinced. He's like, "Oh, all right." He waves you to stop talking for a moment, and he says,
I turned back at Balder, and I quickly put my arm over his shoulder, and as I do, I look at him and kind of nod my head down to look at my crossbow that I got pointed at his gut from only he can see, and I go, my dear friend, relax. We're going to go have some stew here. I offer some of our stew if we have some left to your friends here. I think I don't want to say anything brash or anything, but evidently your cook isn't the finest in the world, and well, we do have a very good cook in our group, and maybe we could do some of our payback here by giving them some of our stew and make them welcome in their own home, as it were. And so, yeah, we would just figure we could discuss terms and things and talk to the bandit leader here, or what's his name? Shit.
Sadon.
Sadon. We talked to Sadon and see what he has to offer for us. It looks like a fine establishment here, and maybe he would like to make a tour even of some of our buildings that we own and run are as well. And
And and Sadon just kind of waves that. All right, all right, all right. You run on at the mouth too much. How many are there in your group? How many of you would want to join us? And are the rest of them capable of being quiet?
oh yeah, we are quite quiet. There's let's see, one, two. There's I would say 20, 25 of us altogether, but just outside there's just our one or two friends is out there, and then yeah, we have more that are on the way. I would want to let them know that we're on good working business terms with you, of course, before they come in, just so that
Well,
they know.
well, let's go talk to these friends of yours. Uh, First thing you all got to know is all of us answer to Boggle. You're not willing to take orders from Boggle, then you got no place here. Boggle calls the shots.
Oh
He,
yeah, yes, Bog. We go way back. Yes, we go way back. I've heard of him. He's a legend in these parts, evidently. Quite the man, quite the man, and we definitely would answer to him. I mean, whatever he felt was appropriate, and maybe I don't scrub pots and pans. That's the one thing that I ask.
well, not much. I'm not much of one for scrubbing pots and pans, but I don't mind scrubbing some gold off of some rich merchants. Ha ha ha. And his lackeys, they kind of chuckle a little bit. And so they say, "All right, lead the way. Let's go." And so these
I walk
guys.
along with my arm over his shoulder.
Okay, so you.
Like we're the best of.
Okay, so go ahead and yep. They start coming down over here, and they start heading out here, and everybody. You're gonna come on out. Yeah. Okay.
I'm making sure I walk along the boards that I marked.
Okay. And you notice um, they all pick their way carefully across these boards as well. And they step out, and Siren, hey, guess what? Devlin is coming out. It looks like he's got a leader of some sort here. That leader has maybe a couple of bodyguards. Um, Devlin is there with the guy that um, he went in with as well. Um, and Sandor looks down, sees his other two men kind of knocked out, and he says, "Hey, wait a minute. Why'd you knock my men out?"
Oh, I didn't. We didn't do that. As I said, we were attacked, and Balder and his gentleman just stepped in to help us. It was quite a tuffle. It was, and like I said, I didn't even get to finish my stew. And yeah, if it was just the same to me, I would be having my stew and probably topping it off with some frog legs. But yeah, they totally interrupted my business, and I think me and my friends here were discussing the opportunities we would have with a great leader uh, since we were here, and perhaps you were here, and we could all talk and uh, and we even might invite you to have some of our stew. We would just be curious about how to go about meeting meeting this gentleman.
And Zert starts to move up, and Sadon says, "Wait a minute, I know that one. He's the one that we've been seeing sneaking around here before. We've never been able to catch him."
All right, I'm charging.
Okay, and before we do that, let me remove all of the old turns. And we will go ahead and we.
I was going to say he's like no, he was just scouting the place out for us to make sure that
Whoa, nice.
you were available to somebody would be here at what time when I got here, because I'm kind of the leader of this fine group of men, and like I said, he was just scouting the area out for us.
Okay, they're not interested in talking anymore. Weapons are coming out. They're looking like this is gonna be a fight. Oh, whoops! I don't need to do that because he's got a character sheet. Okay. So Zert. Whoops. Zert combat. Initiative. Okay, then. Elmo. Combat. Initiative. Okay, so.
Do you see my initiative roll?
Do we see yours? I do not. It doesn't. It's not showing up on the turn order.
You have to click on your token when you do roll your initiative.
I did. Did it show up now?
Yes,
Yes,
it did.
now it did.
Okay. All right. So, Siren, you are a 14. Elmo is an 8. No, a 16. Devlin, your dex is 18. Is that correct?
No, I think it's like. It's 16.
16. Okay. All right. Then let's see here. So, this 1, 3, 4. Okay, so bandit leader. Let's give it 4. This guy gets 1. This guy gets 1. This guy get. Oh. This guy gets 1. This guy gets 3. Okay. All right. So then we'll put them in descending order. All right. And it's all. Everything is about to go
South.
So Elmo can take 6 strides or go 6 places before he. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't give him the ability to do anything, so he's just gonna use his full movement up to 90, and he will come up here, and he'll get right beside Devlin and get ready to try to take out this second bandit that's right there next to Devlin. All right. That's all he can do. Siren, you are up. What would you like to do, sir?
All right. So, do I do magic first, then hand-to-hand combat?
Yes, magic. There is a turn order, and I think that may be in the core rules and resources.
Or did they even have it in this edition? The casting speed.
Well, they had a turn order, which was kind of interesting, and in fact, I have it in this one of these PDFs here. So let me go to.
I know
Yeah,
they used to have a casting speed on all the spells, at least in the AD&D book. I'm not sure about.
Yeah, the attack order has phases, and this is where you the history of original D&D coming from the miniatures war games, because um, the phases of combat go like this. First, there's the morale check, if people need to make a morale check. Second is movement. Characters who choose to move may do so after morale. Then there's missile combat. Characters using missiles and thrown weapons make their attacks. Now, if you're doing individual initiative, then this is the order that an individual person would go in. So, if you are going to move, you move. Then, if you're going to use a weapon attack, you'd use a weapon attack. If you're going to cast a spell, you would cast a spell. And then, after you cast a spell, you do hand to hand combat. So, yes, to answer your first question, spell casting comes before hand to hand. A lot of times spells will be in action, so it'll kind of eat up your attack, unless it's a spell that's specific, is used in conjunction with a weapon attack.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you are up. You can go ahead.
I guess I'll just move up, get ready to fight, but I'll cast a magic missile.
Okay. Who are you going to try to hit?
I'll hit the bandit leader.
Okay. Now, in first edition, you get at first level a single magic missile, but it does 1d6 plus 1 damage instead of 1d4 plus 1. And then every other level, you get 2 more magic missiles. So when you get to third level and you cast magic missile, you'll fire off 3 magic missiles instead of 1. So that's 6 points of damage. And boom. Okay, that hurt him. And again, like later editions Magic Missile, there's no attack roll. It's just automatic damage. Now let me just double check on the rules for Magic Missile and be sure that this KF Magic Missile. Okay, so Magic Missile. Okay. Chapter 14. Planes of Existence. Spells and spell casting. First level. Magical spells. Magic missile, glowing arrow created and shot by magic. Da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. The spell has a duration of 1 round. So in this edition, magic missile is a glowing arrow created and shot by magic. After the spell is cast, the arrow appears next to the spellcaster and hovers there, moving with him until the spellcaster causes it to shoot. When shot, the magic missile will automatically hit any one visible target the spellcaster specifies. And so they kind of envision this as like somehow you cast a spell, run around, get into position, and then you shoot it at somebody, which is a little weird compared to the way it works in later editions of the game.
All right.
Yeah. So you hit the guy, and yeah, I was just double checking to see if it said it was, if you got another attack when you used it, but it doesn't sound like you do.
Fair enough.
Okay, Devlin.
It should actually be 7 damage. Apparently it's 1d6 plus 1.
Oh yeah. 1d6 plus 1. Okay. Okay, so then -1. All right. So he's hurt, but he's not bloodied. Devlin, you are up.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to jump dive to the ground and fire a shot. But I have my arm around this boulder's shoulder, and I want, as I'm jumping, force him to the ground in front of me, and basically using him as a meat shield. And then when I hit the ground, I want to fire. I don't know if I want to kill the bandit leader, because maybe we wanted to save him to talk to him. So I'm going to
Yeah.
fire. I'm going to fire at one of the bandits that's just over his shoulder.
Okay.
Or yeah, actually the bandit that's the closest to Siren.
Okay. So you want to shoot at this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna say make a strength check to see if you can basically force your captive, for want of a better word, force him to the ground, and then we'll see what happens with that before you take your shot. Ooh, strength check. No, okay. You go to try to push him to the ground, and instead he does some kind of a jujitsu move to you, and he uses your momentum, and he winds up swapping positions with you. He doesn't go down, you don't go down either, but now he's behind you, and you're in front of him, and you're a little off balance. Do you still want to try the shot you were going to try, or do you want to try something else for your attack?
I'm going to try a shot.
Okay. At the same guy you were going to shoot at before?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You see it, right?
No, I don't.
No. The weird thing is I don't see it either. Or I don't see my dice. But yeah, I clicked him before I rolled that.
Okay, but nothing came up on your chat to tell you what the roll was?
Yeah, it says I got a strength check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the strength.
I got a hits armor class 9.
Hits armor class 9. Okay. So these guys are AC 6, so that won't hit. That's a miss.
Even if I hit, it would have been almost a miss. I only did 1 damage.
Okay. All right. So Zert is up. Zert will pull out, I believe it's a sword he has. Yes, it is. Pulls out a sword. He runs up to this guy here. And he says, "Well, we don't need you anymore." And he's going to try to get rid of him because he noticed that this guy was going to try to do something to attack you from behind, Devlin. So he attacks with the sword. And he hits armor class 12, which is a miss. And then it's the bandit leader. Okay. And the bandit leader, he's a tough guy. He is a he is a 2-hit die creature. So let's go and double check what he needs to attack. He's going to try to attack Siren. And he is going to be using his sword, which he has. And his roll
Oh, good.
Okay, not natural 20, but a 20 for him will hit an armor class of -2.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so then he deals 1d8 damage.
1, 4, or less.
3.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. He whacks him for 3 points of damage.
Well, I'm bloodied.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. I can throw that little symbol there on your token, so everybody knows that you're bloodied. Hey, Devin, your buddy there just got hit pretty bad. Bandit 3. He is all about protecting the boss. And so he's going to come over here, put himself between the boss and the guy with the crossbow. And he's going to, he's going to take a swing at the guy with the crossbow. So he is a 1-hit die creature, which means, 19. So for a 1-hit die creature, a 19 hits an armor class of 0.
Oh, he hits me. No doubt about it.
Okay, so he's got a short sword. And his short sword deals 1d6 damage. And so that does 3 points of damage to Devlin. All right. Then Bandit 2 was going to attack Devlin, but Zert ran up and attacked him. So he turns around and he tries to attack Zert. And that's a 13. I think that misses Zert. Yeah, that misses Zert. This other guy, this bandit. Okay, he's gonna come down. He's gonna use his short sword. He's gonna try to hit Siren. 8.
Awesome.
Yep, that will miss. And then Elmo is up. And Elmo will focus fire on this guy here. He's going to use that battle axe that he likes so much. And he's going to attack him. It's AC 5, which that will hit for 10 points of damage. He just smites that guy. And his head falls off, rolls away, and goes plopping into the water. And we're going to put him on the GM layer. And, they lost a guy. So now it's time for them to do a morale check. Oh, okay. That fails their morale check. The bandit leader goes, whoa, okay. Bargle calls the shots, but that bastard's not worth dying for. So, he says, fellas, put down your weapons. And they look at him, and he nods, and he tosses his sword on the ground. And the two of them shrug, and they toss their short swords on the ground as well. Looks like the encounter is over. And it also looks like we are at 3 o'clock, which is sort of the time that we had said that until everybody had a chance to weigh in and we kind of get our stride going and people figure out whether we want 3-hour sessions or longer sessions, we'll go ahead and call it there. So this is actually kind of a good place to end the session because we can pick up next time with you guys interrogating these folks and seeing what you can learn from them about the.
After we see what kind of fine armor we can get off of this, especially off the captain.
Yeah. Speaking of fine armor, in the session notes, I'm gonna count up the encounters you had today, the victories you had. You technically had 3 encounters and you won all 3 of them. So even though you didn't kill all the enemies, you do get credit for defeating all of the enemies in each of these encounters. So I'll figure out what the XP totals are, and I will send those to you. I'll also let you know. I presume that now that you've got these guys kind of subdued, you have time to look through the pockets of the bandits and figure out what they have on their persons. And I'll let you know what you find in terms of gold on at least the ones that you fought first. Maybe the captain and the other two, we can put those in with put their treasure in with next week's
I'll have to
session.
tell him about that he's always aspired to have a necklace of teeth,
Okay.
and see if they'd be willing to give him enough gold to buy his own, or if they wanted to donate their teeth.
Yeah, well, you've got two bandits that had literally lost their heads. So you've got some teeth you can harvest from them.
They got to be fresh teeth. I only take teeth for necklaces of a living.
Ooh, okay.
Gross.
All right, well, gentlemen, thank you guys for coming out and playing. This adoption of the new, well, not new, the old first edition combat system, it is a little bit smoother than I thought it was going to go. I had done some testing and it looked like they had it looked like, and I'm glad to see, pretty much for all of us except for some reason with your sheet, Roy, it's doing the calculations and then showing that in terms of what armor class we're hitting as we roll. The reason it doesn't do that for the monsters is because I would apparently have to create a character sheet for every monster in order to get it to roll and determine what AC it hits. And I just don't have enough time to do that. So it's like that's
Yeah, I think at some point I went and just checked like almost all the boxes under the little gear there to show everything.
yeah. All right. Well, everyone have a good week. We'll hope that Julian is able to join us again next week, and hope that John, after he made up his character, he said he was pretty excited about getting to play. So hopefully somehow he will let us know what happened this week and tell us if he's planning to play again with us. So hopefully he'll be around. I'm going to keep the recruiting open for this game. I would pretty much almost always like to play a session with at least 3 players. 4 or 5 is good, and in this particular system, I think we can get away with a couple of more. So, because that always allows for more interaction, and I want the PCs definitely to be the ones driving the plot of the story and not having the NPCs.
Yeah,
be
plus it's
having
more characters and people to interact with. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, because you got to face it. There's not a lot of combat and variety capability in some of the classes, like a thief. I mean, he's got to be kind of a coward, at least especially at the lower levels, until he gets some hit points.
Yeah. At lower levels, he's really really pretty
Squishy.
fragile. Yep. And same goes for the magic users as well.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great week, and I'm going to be around next week. You guys have any conflicts that you know of for next Saturday?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Nope. All right. Well, hopefully we'll have a bit of a bigger turnout, and then let anyone know if you find other people that might want to play the game.
All right, will do.
All right. Take care. And anyone watching the stream later on, thanks for dropping by, and we will see you next week on the History of D&D.